She was crying on my bench. I don't mean a bench, I mean my bench. The one I'd been sitting on every Saturday afternoon for the past year and a half. Same spot, same view of the fountain, same worn paperback in my hand. But that day, she was there. Head down, shoulders shaking slightly, trying to keep it quiet. I almost walked away. I'm not good with strangers. I'm not good with tears. But I didn't walk away. I sat down on the other end, left about 3 feet between us, and pulled a travel pack of tissues from my jacket pocket. Slid it across the bench without looking at her. She took it, didn't say anything. Neither did I. We sat like that for maybe 5 minutes. Then she spoke. What does love feel like? I turned. She still wasn't looking at me, just staring at the fountain, tissue crumpled in her hand. I'm serious, she said, her voice raw. I don't think I've ever really felt it. I didn't know how to answer that. I'm still not sure I do. But what she said next, and what happened over the following months, changed everything I thought I understood about connection, about safety, about what it means to let someone in. Let me start from the beginning. My name is David. I'm 32. I fix air conditioners and heating systems for a living. It's not glamorous, but it's steady. I drive a white van with my company's logo on the side, Jensen HVAC. I show up, I diagnose the problem, I fix it, I leave. Most days I don't talk to anyone except to explain what was wrong and what it'll cost. People nod. They pay. I go to the next house. I live alone in a 1-bedroom apartment on the east side of town. It's small, clean, quiet. There's a couch I bought used, a TV I rarely turn on, a bed, a kitchen table with 1 chair. I don't need more than that. 2 years ago, I was married. Her name was Jennifer. We met in college, got married at 25, and spent 6 years trying to make it work. There was no affair. No screaming match. No dramatic ending. We just drifted. One day, I realized we hadn't had a real conversation in months. We lived in the same house, slept in the same bed, and we were strangers. She's the one who said it out loud. I don't think we love each other anymore. I didn't argue. Because she was right. The divorce was quiet, civil. We split everything down the middle, sold the house, signed the papers. She moved 2 hours north for a new job. I stayed. We haven't spoken since. I don't blame her. I don't blame myself either. Sometimes things just end. After the divorce, I tried dating. I downloaded the apps, swiped, matched, went on a few dates. They were fine, the women were fine. But every time I sat across from someone new, I felt like I was performing, like I was supposed to be charming or interesting or someone I wasn't. After a few months, I deleted the apps. I stopped trying. I settled into a routine instead. Weekdays, wake up at 6, shower, coffee, check the day's work orders, drive to the first job, lunch in the van, 3 to 5 service calls depending on the season, home by 5:30, microwave something or pick up takeout, gym at 7, shower again, read until I'm tired, sleep. Weekends were different, but not by much. Saturdays, I'd sleep in until 8, make eggs and toast. Then I'd walk to the park downtown, about 15 minutes from my apartment, and sit on the same bench near the fountain. I'd bring a book. Sometimes I'd read, sometimes I'd just watch. Families with strollers, couples holding hands, teenagers throwing a frisbee, old men playing chess at the stone tables. I liked the noise, the movement. It reminded me that life was happening, even if mine felt like it was on pause. Sundays were for chores, laundry, groceries, cleaning, meal prep for the week. I'd listen to podcasts while I worked, true crime mostly, something to fill the silence. I wasn't unhappy. That's the thing people don't understand. I wasn't depressed or miserable. I was just empty, like I was going through the motions of a life without actually living it. I didn't tell anyone this, not my coworkers, not the few friends I still saw once or twice a year for beers, not my mom, who lived 3 states away and called every couple of weeks to check in. You doing okay, honey? Yeah, Mom, I'm good. You seeing anyone? Not right now. Well, don't wait too long. You're not getting any younger. I'd laugh. She'd laugh. We'd talk about the weather, her garden, my work. Then we'd hang up and I'd go back to the quiet. I didn't mind being alone. I'd gotten used to it. In some ways, I preferred it. No one to disappoint. No one to disappoint me. No expectations. No performance. Just me and the routine. On Saturdays, I'd sit on that bench for 2, sometimes 3 hours. I'd read the same page 4 times without absorbing a word. I'd watch the fountain, the way the water caught the light, the way kids would run up and stick their hands in, the way couples would sit on the rim and talk. I wondered sometimes what they talked about, if it was important or just noise, if they were happy or just pretending. I wondered if I'd ever feel that again, that ease, that warmth. But mostly I just sat there, present but not participating, watching life happen around me while mine stayed still. It wasn't a bad life. It was safe, predictable, comfortable in its smallness, but it wasn't much of a life either. I think I knew that. Deep down, I think I'd known it for a while. I just didn't know what to do about it, so I kept showing up, kept working, kept sitting on that bench every Saturday, reading books I didn't care about, waiting for nothing in particular. And then one afternoon in late September, she sat down next to me, and everything changed. Before I tell you what happened next, do me a favor, drop a comment and let me know where you're listening from. I love hearing from you all. And if you're finding this worthwhile, hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps me keep bringing you these stories. Now, let me tell you about the day everything shifted. It was a Saturday in late September, the kind of day where the heat of summer was finally breaking, and the air had that first hint of fall, crisp, clean, easier to breathe. I'd been sitting on my bench for maybe 20 minutes. I was reading, or trying to, some thriller I'd picked up at a used bookstore, the kind where you forget the plot the moment you put it down. I heard her before I saw her. Footsteps. Fast. Then they stopped. I glanced up. She was standing about 10 feet away, staring at the bench, at the empty space next to me. Her eyes were red. Her breathing was uneven, like she'd been crying or trying not to. She had dark hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, wore jeans and an oversized gray sweater. She looked exhausted. For a second I thought she might leave, but then she walked over and sat down. Not close. She left a good 3 feet between us. She didn't look at me, just folded her hands in her lap and stared straight ahead at the fountain. I went back to my book, or pretended to. I could feel her shaking, not obviously, just a slight tremor in her shoulders. She was trying to hold it together. I reached into my jacket pocket, pulled out the travel pack of tissues I keep for work. Sometimes attics are dusty, and slid it across the bench toward her. She looked down at it, then at me. I didn't say anything, just gave a small nod. She took the packet, pulled one out, pressed it to her eyes, then another. Her breath hitched once, but she didn't make a sound. We sat like that for 5 minutes, maybe longer. I wasn't counting. Then she spoke. "What does love feel like?" Her voice was quiet, rough, like she'd been crying for hours before she got here. I looked over at her. She still wasn't looking at me, just staring at the fountain, tissue clutched in her hand. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "That's a weird question. You don't have to." "No," I said. "It's not weird." She finally turned her head. Her eyes were green, tired, searching. "I'm serious," she said. "I don't think I've ever really felt it. Not from my parents, not from my ex. Maybe I don't even know how to recognize it." I set my book down, thought about it. "I'm not sure I know how to describe it," I said. "But I guess it's when someone sees you, really sees you and doesn't leave." She nodded slowly, looked back at the fountain. "That's the thing," she said. "I don't think anyone's ever stayed." I didn't know what to say to that, so I didn't say anything. She wiped her eyes again, took a breath. "I just left my boyfriend," she said. "Ex-boyfriend. We were together for 6 years. I thought I loved him. I thought he loved me. But the whole time, I felt like I was drowning, like I was never enough, never smart enough, never pretty enough, never anything enough." Her voice cracked. She stopped, steadied herself. "He didn't hit me," she continued. "He didn't cheat. He just made me feel like I was always failing, at being a partner, at being a person. And I stayed because I thought that's what love was, work, compromise, sacrifice." She laughed bitterly. "I don't even know why I'm telling you this. You're a complete stranger." "Sometimes that's easier," I said. She looked at me again. This time she almost smiled. "Yeah, I guess it is." We sat in silence for another minute. The fountain ran. A kid shouted somewhere behind us. A dog barked. "I'm Sarah," she said finally. "David." She nodded, folded the tissue in her hands. "Thank you," she said, "for the tissues." and for not telling me it's going to be okay. I looked at her. I don't know if it will be, I said honestly. But you don't have to figure it out today. She exhaled. It sounded like relief. No, she said quietly. I don't. She stood up, tucked the tissue packet into her pocket. I might come back here, she said. If that's okay. I don't really have anywhere else to go. It's a public bench, I said. She smiled. A real one this time. Small, but real. Right. She walked away. I watched her go, watched her disappear around the corner of the park path. Then I picked up my book, tried to read, but I couldn't focus. I kept thinking about what she'd said. I don't think anyone's ever stayed. I knew that feeling, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel quite so alone in it. She came back the following Saturday. I was already on the bench, same spot, same book I still hadn't finished. I saw her walking up the path, hands in the pockets of a denim jacket, hair down this time. She looked less shaken than before, still tired but steadier. She stopped a few feet away. Is it okay if I sit? It's your bench too, I said. She sat down, left the same 3 feet of space between us. For a while, we didn't talk. She watched the fountain. I pretended to read. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was just quiet. After maybe 15 minutes, she spoke. I'm sorry about last week, for unloading on you like that. You don't need to apologize. Still, you were just sitting here minding your own business. I was sitting here doing nothing, I said. It's not like you interrupted anything important. She smiled a little. Fair. Another pause. Do you come here every week? She asked. Yeah, Saturdays. For about 1.5 years now. Why? I thought about it. I like the noise, I said. It's not quiet, but it's not demanding either. I can just be here. She nodded like she understood. I just moved here 1 year ago, she said. I thought a fresh start would help. New city, new job. Well, freelance, so I work from home. But I don't really know anyone. And I just spent 6 years with someone who made me feel like I was annoying for existing. So now I don't know how to be around people anymore. You're doing fine right now, I said. She looked at me. Am I? Yeah. She exhaled, relaxed a little. We sat there for another hour, didn't talk much. She asked what I did for work. I told her. She said she was a graphic designer. Logos, branding, web design, whatever people needed. Freelance kept her busy but isolated. I spend most days alone in my apartment, she said, talking to clients over email. It's good work, but it's lonely. I get that, I said. When she left, she said, same time next week? I nodded. I'll be here. The next Saturday, she brought 2 coffees. I didn't know how you take it, she said, handing me one. So I got it black. There's sugar and cream in my bag if you need it. Black's fine, thank you. She sat down. We drank our coffee, watched a couple try to take a selfie by the fountain and fail 3 times before giving up. Do you ever feel like everyone else got a manual on how to be a person? She said. And you just didn't? I looked at her. Every day, I said. She laughed. Not bitterly this time, just honest. God, that's depressing. Or comforting, I said. Depends how you look at it. Comforting how? Because it means it's not just you. She thought about that. Nodded slowly. Yeah, I guess you're right. We talked more that day. She told me she grew up in a family that valued achievement over everything else. Her dad was a lawyer. Her mom was a doctor. Her older brother was an engineer. And Sarah was the artist, the one who didn't fit. They never said I was a disappointment, she said. But I could feel it. Every family dinner. Every time they'd ask what I was working on, and I'd say a logo for a local coffee shop. They'd nod, smile, and I'd see it in their eyes. Like, when are you going to do something real? That sounds exhausting, I said. It is. I don't talk to them much anymore. They don't really reach out either. I'm sorry. She shrugged. It's fine. I'm used to it. But I could tell it wasn't fine. Not really. The 3rd week I brought the coffees. She smiled when she saw them. You remembered. Black with nothing, I said. Hard to forget. We sat, drank. She asked about my family. I told her about my parents, how they died when I was 24. Car accident, black ice, gone in an instant. How I'd been married at the time and Jennifer had been amazing through it all. How that was maybe the last time we'd really been close. Do you miss them? Sarah asked. Your parents. Every day, I said. But it's different now. It's not sharp anymore. It's just there, like background noise. She nodded. I think I know what you mean. By the fourth Saturday, it wasn't just coffee and sitting anymore. She suggested we walk, so we did. Around the park, down by the duck pond, through the paths lined with trees that were just starting to turn gold and red. She told me about her ex, how he'd made her feel small, how he'd criticized the way she dressed, the way she talked, the things she cared about, how she'd started second-guessing everything. I couldn't even order food at a restaurant without wondering if he'd think I was being annoying, she said. I'd sit there staring at the menu, panicking, trying to pick something he wouldn't roll his eyes at. That's not love, I said. I know that now. Do you? I asked. She stopped walking, looked at me. I'm trying to, she said quietly. We kept walking. Week 5, she asked if I wanted to get lunch after our usual park time. We went to a diner a few blocks away, sat in a booth by the window, ordered burgers and fries. She asked about my marriage. I told her the truth, that it had just faded, that neither of us had fought for it because there wasn't anything left to fight for. Do you regret it? She asked. The divorce? No. The marriage? I don't know. I think we both wanted it to be something it wasn't, and we were too young to realize that wanting something doesn't make it real. She poked at her fries. I'm scared I'm going to do that again, she said. Fall into something because I'm lonely, because I want to feel wanted, and then wake up 5 years later and realize I've disappeared again. Then don't, I said. It's not that simple. It is. It's just not easy. She looked at me for a long time. Then she smiled. Sad but genuine. You're kind of wise, you know that? I'm really not, I said. I'm just tired of pretending. Maybe that's the same thing. Week 6, it rained. I almost didn't go to the park, but I did. I sat on the bench under my umbrella figuring she wouldn't show. But she did. She was soaked. No umbrella. Hair plastered to her face. Laughing. I'm an idiot, she said, sitting down next to me, closer this time, under the umbrella. I didn't check the weather. Here. I shifted the umbrella toward her. You'll get wet. I'll dry. She didn't argue. We sat there in the rain, shoulders almost touching, watching the fountain fill and overflow. This is nice, she said after a while. Getting drenched? No. This. Just being. I didn't say anything. But I understood. Week 7, her laptop broke. She texted me, we'd exchanged numbers by then, and asked if I knew anything about computers. Not much, I said, but I can take a look. She invited me over. Her apartment was small, lived in. Art prints on the walls, sketches taped up everywhere, a desk covered in pens and tablets and half-finished projects. It smelled like coffee and lavender. I looked at the laptop. It wasn't broken, just a loose connection inside. I tightened it, rebooted, handed it back. You're a lifesaver, she said. It was easy. Still, she made us tea. We sat on her couch. She showed me some of the designs she'd been working on. They were good, really good. You're talented, I said. Thanks. I don't hear that much. You should. She looked at me. Something shifted in her expression. Softer, open. Can I ask you something? She said. Sure. Why are you doing this? Doing what? This. Spending time with me, listening, helping. You barely know me. I thought about it. Because I like being around you, I said. And because I don't think you should have to do everything alone. Her eyes got shiny. She looked away. Sorry, she said, wiping at her face. I'm not used to people just showing up. You don't have to apologize for that. She nodded, took a breath. Thank you, David. For what? For showing up? Week 8, we went for a longer walk, out past the park, along the trail that followed the river. It was late October now. The trees were almost bare. The air was cold. She talked about her dreams, the things she wanted to do with her work. A gallery show, maybe. A book of her illustrations. Something that felt like hers. But that's probably stupid, she said. Why would it be stupid? Because it's not practical. It's not a real career. Says who? She didn't answer. Sarah, I said. Who told you that your work doesn't matter? She stopped walking, stared at the river. Everyone, she said quietly. My family, my ex, even people I tried to share it with. They'd say it was nice, cute, a good hobby, but never like it was real. It's real, I said. She looked at me. How do you know? Because I've seen it. And because you care about it, that makes it real. Her lip trembled. She looked away. We stood there for a while. Just the sound of the river, the wind. Then she reached out and took my hand. I didn't pull away. We walked back like that, hand in hand, not saying anything. It felt right. Week 9, she cooked dinner for me. Nothing fancy. Pasta, garlic bread, salad. But she'd set the table, lit a candle. "This is really nice," I said. "I wanted to do something," she said. "You've done a lot for me." "I haven't done anything." "You have. You just don't see it." We ate, talked, laughed. She told a story about a client who'd asked her to make a logo with 14 different animals in it. I told her about a service call where a guy's AC had stopped working because a family of squirrels had moved into the unit. "You're kidding." "I'm not. They had acorns. Babies. A whole setup." She laughed so hard she cried. After dinner we sat on the couch. She put on a movie, some rom-com she said was terrible but comforting. Halfway through, she leaned against me. I didn't move. By the time the credits rolled, her breathing had evened out. She'd fallen asleep. I stayed still. Didn't want to wake her. When she woke up an hour later, she pulled back quickly. "Sorry," she said. "I didn't mean to." "It's okay." She looked at me, then quietly, "I feel safe with you." "Good," I said. "You should." Week 10, we didn't go to the park. She asked if I wanted to come over. We ordered pizza, watched a documentary about deep-sea creatures. She curled up next to me on the couch again. This time, she didn't fall asleep. This time, she kissed me. Soft, tentative. I kissed her back. When we pulled apart, she searched my face. "Is this okay?" she whispered. "Yeah," I said, "it's okay." She smiled, rested her forehead against mine. "I didn't think I'd feel this again," she said. "Feel what?" "Like I wasn't alone." I wrapped my arms around her. "You're not," I said. And for the first time in years, neither was I. It happened on a Tuesday morning in early November. Sarah texted me while I was between jobs. Just 3 words. "He found me." I called immediately. "Sarah, what's going on?" Her voice was shaky. "My ex, Marcus, he showed up at my apartment this morning." My grip tightened on the phone. "Did he hurt you?" No, nothing like that. He was at my door when I went to get coffee. Said he wanted to talk, that he'd been thinking about me, that he made a mistake." "What did you say?" I said I didn't want to talk to him, but he wouldn't leave, David. He stood there for 20 minutes saying he'd changed, that he realized what he lost, that we could try again. Where is he now? Gone. I told him if he didn't leave, I'd call the police. He finally left, but he said he'd come back, that he wasn't giving up. I was already in my van, pulling out of the driveway where I'd been parked. "Text me your address, I'm coming over." "You don't have to." "Sarah, text me your address." A pause, then, "Okay." When I got there, she was sitting on her couch, arms wrapped around herself. She looked small, scared. I sat down next to her. Didn't touch her yet. Just let her know I was there. "I thought I was done with him," she said quietly. "I thought leaving was the end of it." "You did the right thing. You told him to leave. But what if he comes back? Then we deal with it. Together." She looked at me, eyes red. "Why is he doing this now? It's been almost 3 months. Why can't he just let me go?" "Because he's realizing what he had," I said. "And now that you're not there to criticize, he's rewriting history, making it better than it was. It was never good." "I know. But he doesn't want to admit that." She leaned into me. I put my arm around her. "I'm scared," she whispered. "I know, but you're not alone in this." We sat like that for a long time. Marcus didn't come back that day, or the next. But on Thursday, Sarah's phone rang. Her mom. She stared at the screen, didn't answer. "You don't have to talk to her," I said. "She'll just keep calling." The phone stopped, then started again. Sarah closed her eyes, answered, "Hi, Mom." I couldn't hear the other side, but I could see Sarah's face change. Her jaw tightened. Her shoulders tensed. "Mom, I don't want to talk about this." A pause. "That's not fair." Another pause. Longer. "He told you what?" Her eyes went wide, then angry. "That's not true. Mom, he's lying." She stood up, started pacing. "I didn't break up with him because of another man. I broke up with him because he treated me like I was worthless." Her voice was rising. No, I'm not being dramatic. You weren't there. You didn't see." She stopped, listened. Her face crumbled. "So you're taking his side." Silence. "Okay, Fine. Thanks for calling. She hung up. Threw the phone on the couch. Sarah, he called my mom, she said, voice shaking. He told her I left him for someone else, that I was being impulsive, that I wasn't thinking straight. And she believed him. What did she say? That I'm throwing away a good man. That Marcus is stable and kind and I should give him another chance. That I'm making a mistake. She laughed bitterly. She doesn't even call me for months, and now she's calling to tell me I'm ruining my life. I stood up, walked over to her. You're not ruining anything. She thinks I am. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Sarah looked at me. Her eyes were desperate. What if she's right? What if I am making a mistake? What if I'm just running away because I'm scared? You're not running. You left because you had to, because staying was killing you. But what if… Sarah, I took her hands. Listen to me, you are not broken, you are not making a mistake, and you are not alone. Her breath hitched. She pulled her hands away, wrapped her arms around herself again. I need to think, she said. Okay. Can you go just for tonight? I need to be alone. It hurt, but I nodded. Yeah, okay. I grabbed my jacket, headed for the door. David. I turned. Thank you for coming, for everything. Call me if you need me. She nodded. I left. She didn't call that night or the next day. I texted Friday morning. You okay? No response. Saturday, I went to the park, sat on our bench. She didn't show. I stayed for 3 hours, just in case. Nothing. Sunday, I tried calling. It went to voicemail. Hey, it's me. I'm not trying to pressure you. I just want to make sure you're okay. Call me when you can. Monday, still nothing. Tuesday, I drove to her apartment, knocked. No answer. I left a note. I'm here if you need me. Wednesday night, my phone rang. It was her. Sarah, I'm sorry. Her voice was thick, like she'd been crying for days. I'm so sorry. You don't have to apologize. I do. I've been ignoring you. I didn't know what to say. Where are you? Are you safe? I'm at my apartment. Marcus hasn't come back, but he's been texting, and my mom keeps calling. And my brother called yesterday to tell me I'm being selfish, that I'm not thinking about anyone but myself. Sarah, and maybe they're right, maybe I am being selfish, maybe I should just, I don't know, go back, make it work, stop causing problems. Stop. My voice was firmer than I meant it to be. Listen to me. You are not selfish. You left because you had to, because he was hurting you. He didn't hit me. There are a lot of ways to hurt someone. Silence. I don't know if I'm strong enough for this, she whispered. Strong enough for what? To say no, to keep saying no. Everyone's telling me I'm wrong, that I'm throwing away something good, and I'm starting to believe them. My chest tightened. Do you want to go back to him? I asked quietly. No. Then don't. But what if I'm making a mistake? What if you're not? She didn't answer. Sarah, I said, you asked me once what love feels like. You remember what I said? That it's when someone sees you and doesn't leave. Yes, so let me ask you this. Did Marcus see you? Really see you? A long pause. No, she said finally. He saw who he wanted me to be. And me? Another pause. You see me, she whispered. And I'm not leaving. She started crying. I could hear it through the phone. I'm so tired, David. I know. I don't want to go back, I don't. But everyone's making me feel like I'm crazy for leaving. You're not crazy, you're just tired. And that's not the same thing, she sobbed. I don't know what to do. You don't have to decide anything right now, just let me come over, please. Okay, she said quietly. Okay. When I got there, she opened the door and collapsed into me. I held her while she cried. Didn't say anything, just held her. When she finally pulled back, her face was puffy and red. He won't stop, she said. Marcus. He keeps texting, saying he loves me, that I'm confused, that I'm letting people manipulate me. He means me. Yeah. What do you want to do? I want to block him, but I'm scared. Of what? That he'll show up again, that he'll get worse. That my family will hate me. I looked at her. Sarah, your family already doesn't support you. Marcus already hurt you. Blocking him won't make things worse. It'll just make you safer. She nodded slowly, pulled out her phone. Her hands were shaking. Do you want me to do it? I asked. No, I need to. She opened the messages, stared at the screen. Then with a shaky breath, she blocked his number. Then she blocked her mom's, then her brother's. When she was done, she set the phone down. I feel like a terrible person, she said. You're not. You're protecting yourself. She looked at me, tears streaming down her face. What if you're wrong about me? What if I am broken? What if I'm not worth all this? I took her face in my hands. You're not broken, I said. You're just tired, and you deserve to rest. She closed her eyes, leaned into my hands. I don't know how to do this, she whispered. Do what? Let someone care about me. You're already doing it. She opened her eyes, searched mine. What if I lose you too? You won't. You don't know that. No, but I'm choosing to stay anyway. She broke down again. I pulled her close. And for the first time in 2 weeks, she let herself breathe. 2 weeks passed. Sarah didn't unblock anyone. Marcus stopped texting, I assume because he realized he was blocked. Her family didn't call, at least not that we knew of. She was quieter during those weeks, more withdrawn. She'd spend hours at her desk working, barely speaking. I'd come over after work, bring dinner, sit with her while she worked. Sometimes she'd talk, sometimes she wouldn't. I didn't push. One night she looked up from her tablet and said, I feel guilty. For what? For cutting them off. For choosing myself over my family, over what they think is right. You didn't choose yourself over them, I said. You chose yourself over their version of you. She thought about that, nodded slowly. It still feels wrong. I know. We sat in silence for a while. Do you think I'm a bad person? She asked. No. Do you think I'm running away? No, I think you're surviving. She set down her stylus, turned to face me. Why do you stay? She asked quietly. You could have walked away weeks ago, when I stopped answering, when I told you to leave. Why didn't you? I met her eyes. Because I didn't want to. That's not a good enough reason. Why not? Because people leave, David. That's what they do. They get tired. They realize I'm too much work. They decide I'm not worth it. So why haven't you? I stood up, walked over to where she was sitting, crouched down so we were eye level. Because you're not too much, I said, and you're worth it. Her eyes filled with tears. You don't know that. You don't know what I'm like when I'm really struggling, when I can't get out of bed, when I push people away because I'm scared. You don't, Sarah. I took her hands. I've seen you at your worst, and I'm still here. This isn't my worst. Then I'll be here for that too. She shook her head. You say that now. I mean it now. But what if... Stop, I said gently. Stop waiting for me to leave. I'm not going anywhere. She stared at me, searching for something. Doubt, maybe. A crack. Proof that I didn't mean it. But I did. I don't know how to believe that, she whispered. Then don't. Not yet. Just let me show you. A tear slipped down her cheek. Then another. I'm scared, she said. Of what? That I'm going to ruin this, that I'm going to mess it up like I mess everything up. That you're going to wake up one day and realize I'm not who you thought I was. I already know who you are. No, you don't. You know the version of me that's trying. But there's another version. The one that's mean and bitter and so fucking tired of pretending. The one that wants to give up. I brushed a tear from her face. I know that version too, I said. And I'm not afraid of her. She let out a sob, covered her face with her hands. I pulled her into my arms, held her while she cried. I chose myself, she said through her tears. For the first time in my life, I chose myself. And it feels awful. I know. Everyone's mad at me. My family. Marcus. Even people I thought were friends, they're taking his side. They think I'm being irrational, dramatic. They think I'm throwing away something good. They're wrong. But what if they're not? What if I am making a mistake? What if I look back in 10 years and realize I ruined everything for nothing? I pulled back, looked at her. Sarah, do you want to go back to him? No. Do you want to go back to feeling like you're not enough? No. Then it's not a mistake. She wiped her face, took a shaky breath. I'm just so tired of fighting, she said. I'm tired of defending myself, of explaining, of feeling like I have to prove that I made the right choice. Then stop. What? Stop defending yourself. Stop explaining. You don't owe anyone that. She looked at me like I'd just said something impossible. But they're my family, and they should support you. But they're not. So you don't owe them anything. She was quiet for a long time. I've never thought of it that way, she said finally. Well, maybe it's time to start. She nodded slowly, leaned back into me. We sat like that for a while. Her breathing started to even out. The tension in her shoulders eased. David? Yeah? Do you remember when I asked you what love feels like? Yeah. What does it feel like to you now? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Like I can breathe again, I said quietly. She pulled back, looked at me. What? That's what it feels like I didn't realize I'd been holding my breath for years, and then you showed up, and I could breathe again. Her lip trembled. You asked me months ago what love feels like, I continued, and I didn't really know how to answer, but now I do. It's not fireworks or butterflies or whatever people say. It's just breathing. It's knowing someone sees you, all of you, the good and the bad and the messy, and they're not going anywhere. A tear slipped down her cheek. It's knowing you don't have to perform, I said. You don't have to be perfect. You can just exist. And that's enough. She covered her mouth with her hand, closed her eyes. You asked me why I stay, I said. That's why, because being with you feels like breathing, and I don't want to hold my breath anymore. She opened her eyes. They were shining. I don't want to hold my breath anymore either, she whispered. I reached up, wiped another tear from her face. Then don't. She leaned forward, pressed her forehead against mine. I want to feel that with you, she said quietly. I want to feel like I can breathe, like I don't have to be anyone but myself. You already do, I said. She pulled back, looked at me, really looked at me. I'm going to mess this up, she said. I'm going to have bad days. I'm going to push you away sometimes. I'm going to be difficult. Okay. Okay? Yeah. Okay. I'm not perfect either. I shut down when I'm upset. I don't always know what to say. I'm going to mess up too. She almost smiled. So we're both disasters. Pretty much. And you're still not leaving? Not a chance. She let out a breath. It sounded like relief, like she'd been carrying something heavy and finally set it down. I love you, she said suddenly, quietly, like she was scared to say it out loud. I looked at her, at this woman who'd walked into my life 3 months ago, broken and scared and so fucking tired. This woman who was choosing herself even when it hurt, who was learning to breathe again. I love you too, I said. She closed her eyes. Fresh tears spilled over. But this time they didn't look like sadness, they looked like relief. Say it again, she whispered. I love you. Again. I love you, Sarah. She exhaled, opened her eyes. I don't think anyone's ever said that to me and meant it, she said. I mean it. I know. She smiled through her tears. I know you do. I pulled her close. She wrapped her arms around me and held on tight. I'm not going anywhere, I said quietly. Promise? Promise? She buried her face in my shoulder. Thank you, she whispered. For what? For staying. For seeing me. For letting me breathe. I kissed the top of her head. You don't have to thank me for that. We stayed like that for a long time, just holding each other, just breathing. And for the first time in months, maybe years, I felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. 8 months later. We live together now. It wasn't a grand decision. There was no big conversation or romantic proposal to move in. It just happened, gradually. First, she started staying over more nights than she didn't. Then she brought some clothes. Then her laptop. Then her work setup. One day I cleared out half my closet without her asking. The next week she brought over 3 boxes of art supplies and asked if the second bedroom could be her studio. It's your place too, I said. She smiled. Okay. By June, her lease was up. She didn't renew it. Now her drawings are on the walls. Her coffee mugs are in the cabinet. Her shoes are by the door next to mine. The apartment still isn't big. It's still the same 1-bedroom I've had for years, but it doesn't feel small anymore. It feels full, in a good way. We have a routine now. I wake up at 6. She wakes up at 7:30. I make coffee for both of us before I leave for work. She texts me around noon. How's your day? I send her a picture of whatever broken AC unit or furnace I'm working on. She sends me whatever design she's working on. I come home around 5:30. Some nights she cooks. Some nights I do. Some nights we order takeout and eat on the couch while watching something we're not really paying attention to. Saturdays we still go to the park, to our bench. We bring coffee. Sometimes we talk. Sometimes we just sit. She doesn't cry as much anymore. The panic attacks still happen, usually late at night when something triggers a memory, but they're less frequent. And when they do happen, I know what to do now. I sit with her. I don't try to fix it. I just remind her that she's safe, that I'm here. She's talking to a therapist now, twice a week. She didn't want to at first. Said it felt like admitting she was broken. But I told her the same thing I'd told her months ago. She's not broken. She's just tired. And tired people need rest. And help. She went. And she's still going. She hasn't talked to her family. They tried reaching out a few times. Her mom sent a letter in July, her brother called in August. She didn't respond. She said maybe one day she will, but not yet. Not until she's ready. Marcus stopped trying after the first month. Last we heard, he'd moved to another state. She didn't ask for details, didn't want to know. I spent 6 years of my life with him, she said once. I don't need to spend any more time thinking about him. I didn't argue. Her work is doing well. She landed a few bigger clients over the summer, a local brewery, a tech startup, a small publishing house that wanted her to illustrate a children's book. She's been working on that one for the past 2 months. I'll catch her at her desk late at night, stylus in hand, completely absorbed. She's good at what she does. Really good. And she's starting to believe it. One night in September, we were lying in bed. The window was open, a cool breeze coming through. Do you ever wonder if this is enough? She asked suddenly. I turned to look at her. What do you mean? This, us, this life. Do you ever wonder if we should be doing more? Want more? I thought about it. Every day, I said. She looked surprised. Really? Yeah, and every day the answer is yes. This is enough. She was quiet for a moment. I used to think love was supposed to be big, she said. Grand gestures, constant excitement, like the movies. But this is different. It's quiet, it's small, it's just steady. Is that a bad thing? No, she smiled. It's the best thing. I pulled her closer. You know what I realized? She said. What? I don't feel like I'm drowning anymore. I didn't say anything, just held her. I used to feel like I was underwater all the time, she continued. Like I was holding my breath, waiting for something bad to happen, waiting for someone to tell me I wasn't good enough, that I was too much or not enough or wrong somehow. But I don't feel that way anymore. What do you feel now? She thought about it. Safe, she said finally. I feel safe. I kissed her forehead. Good. October came. The leaves turned. The air got colder. One Saturday we were on our bench, same spot we'd met a year ago. She had her head on my shoulder. I had my arm around her. A couple walked by with a toddler. The kid was chasing a pigeon, laughing hysterically when it flew away. Sarah watched them, smiled. Do you want that? She asked. Want what? Kids, family, the whole thing. I looked at her. I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe. Someday. Do you? I don't know either. I always thought I was supposed to. But I don't know if I actually do or if I just think I should. Then we don't have to decide right now. She nodded. Okay. We watched the family disappear down the path. Can I tell you something? She said. Always. A year ago, I thought my life was over. I thought I'd made too many mistakes, burned too many bridges. I thought I was going to be alone forever. And now? She lifted her head, looked at me. Now I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I smiled. Me too. She kissed me. Soft. Unhurried. When she pulled back, she was smiling too. I love you, she said. I love you too. We sat there until the sun started to set, until the park emptied out, until it was just us and the fountain and the sound of water running. We should go, she said eventually. It's getting cold. Yeah. But neither of us moved. 5 more minutes, she said. Okay. We stayed. That night we made dinner together. She chopped vegetables while I cooked pasta. We moved around each other easily now. She'd reach for a knife. I'd hand it to her without asking. I'd need a pot. She'd already have it out. After dinner, we sat on the couch. She pulled out her tablet, continued working on the illustrations for the children's book. I read. Some mystery novel I'd picked up at the used bookstore. Neither of us talked. We didn't need to. Round 10, she set down her tablet, stretched. I'm tired, she said. Bed? Yeah. We brushed our teeth side by side in the tiny bathroom, got into bed. She curled up against me, her head on my chest. David? Yeah? Thank you. For what? For not giving up on me when I was difficult. When I pushed you away. When I didn't know what I wanted, you didn't give up. I ran my fingers through her hair. I didn't want to. Still, thank you. You're welcome. She was quiet for a moment. "I'm happy," she said softly. "I don't think I've ever been able to say that before, but I am. I'm happy." I kissed the top of her head. Me too. Her breathing slowed, evened out. Within minutes, she was asleep. I stayed awake a little longer, listened to her breathe, felt the weight of her against me. A year ago, I was sitting alone on a bench, going through the motions, existing but not living. Now I had this, her, us, this small, quiet life that didn't look like much from the outside, but felt like everything on the inside. It wasn't perfect. We still had bad days. She still had moments where the past crept up on her. I still had moments where I didn't know what to say or how to help, but we had each other, and that was enough. More than enough. I closed my eyes, let myself relax into the pillow, and for the first time in a very long time, I fell asleep without wondering what came next, because I already knew. This, more of this. Days and nights and quiet moments and shared routines and her hand in mine and her voice saying my name and her smile when she looked at me like I was exactly what she needed. That's what came next, and I couldn't wait.